Good afternoon, everybody. This is the completion of HealthierUS School Challenge Award Program webinar, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Sheldon Gordon. I'm the Branch Chief for Nutrition Training and Operational Support here in USDA's Food and Nutrition Child Nutrition Programs. I also have with me today Ebony James, who's a nutritionist in my branch, who will also present important information on the application and monetary incentive process. We're going to start by giving you just an overview of what our objective is for today. We will be giving you an overview of the completion process, reminding you of some important dates. We'll discuss the transition plan, provide tips on how to submit a successful application, and lastly, walk you through the award incentives process, including the monetary incentives award process. As you know, the HealthierUS School Challenge has inspired and assisted thousands of schools in implementing the school meal patterns. Since 2004, over 10,000 awards have been given to schools in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Since HUSIC was introduced, other recognition programs have launched, such as the Alliance for Healthier Generations Healthy Schools program, and many state-based programs that recognize schools for their efforts to support health and nutrition among their student body. As part of USDA's commitment to effectively and efficiently use tax dollars, we continually assess how to best utilize the finite resources available to us to support our mission. To that end, and to avoid duplicating the efforts of the private sector, the USDA Food and Nutrition Service will no longer be accepting applications for the HealthierUS School Challenge Award Program, effective July 1st, 2018. USDA does recognize the value of the award program has had with our stakeholders and is committed to maintaining the program throughout the end of the school year for the 2017-2018. USDA will continue to work with schools during this phase-out period and provide the support as they close out the application process. Any application submitted to the state agencies by June 30th, 2018 will be reviewed for approval. The USDA National Office will announce the final set of awards by December 31st, 2018. USDA remains committed to providing efficient and tailored customer service to state agencies, ultimately to help increase their technical assistance efforts to help reach schools for their goals. Furthermore, USDA encourages stakeholders in their continued efforts to recognize those schools who go above and beyond to promote nutrition and health among their student body. USDA encourages schools to stay up to date on the latest school nutrition program information and resources available by joining Team Nutrition. And you can go to our website at www.fns.usda.gov/TN/team-nutrition. And there you're able to order and download free and exciting fun materials that can help promote school nutrition. I'm just doing a simple check. I'm getting some notes. Is everybody able to hear? You should have the volume on your speakers. Okay, I'm getting some yeses, so I guess we're okay. Okay, great. All right, I will continue on. Okay, I heard it's on the low side, so we'll definitely try to talk a little louder to make sure that you can hear us. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, the USDA Food and Nutrition Service will maintain the award program through the end of the 2017-2018 school year, with June 30th being the last day for schools to submit their applications to their state agency. State agencies must submit the reviewed applications to their respective FNS regional office by September 30th. We are counting on state agencies and regional offices to work collaboratively to ensure a timely review. If regional offices are overwhelmed with applications, we would like you to let us know as soon as possible so we can pull other ROs or ourselves to assist with reviewing the applications. USDA Food and Nutrition Service will announce the final set of awards on December 30th. Now I'll talk a little bit about the transition plan. USDA Food and Nutrition Service is working to ensure that this is a smooth transition process for all parties. Hopefully you've already seen and read the memo that was released on USDA's partner web on February 28th announcing the completion of the HealthierUS School Challenge Award. We have and will continue to update the Team Nutrition HUSIC website with important and helpful information and resources. While in this transition phase, we will continue to recognize those schools on our website that have successfully met the HUSIC requirements on a monthly basis. Lastly, we have staff that's dedicated to assist with the HUSIC completion. These staff members will assist with contacting school districts as necessary to collect and verify needed information to expedite the monetary incentive payment process. Now I will turn it over to Ebony James, who will walk you through the process on how to successfully submit an application.
All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to talk just briefly about how to submit a successful application. For those who are thinking about applying, completing an application currently or in the process of submitting an application, there's still a little time to get those applications to your state agency by June 30th, 2018 in order to get recognized for the great things that you're doing to maintain and improve a healthy school nutrition environment in your school. The application is available online. The web address is shown here, www.teamnutrition.usda.gov/HealthierUS. You go on that page, select application materials, and select online application. Now I'm going to go through a few of the pages of the application to review briefly some things that we want you to pay attention to as you complete your application. We will not focus on the content of the application in regards to what you're doing in the area of smart snacks or nutrition education or other activities, because we have those resources already available online from past webinars to assist you with that part of it. But today we'll be focusing on some of the other items for this webinar that will contribute to the successful processing of your application. So on page 3 of the application is the application cover sheet. It requests information that includes the award level the school is applying for, the school name, the district, the school address, the contact person information, and the date the application is submitted to the state agency. It is important that schools and reviewers make sure that the award level that the school is applying for is indicated. Also, if the award is downgraded or upgraded for some reason, that information should be noted on the cover sheet with your initials or signature beside it and the date. Schools and reviewers will also need to verify the school name and the school address. The school name that is featured on the application cover sheet is the name that will be used for the award certificate once the application has been approved. We also need you to verify that the entire school name with any appropriate punctuation is clearly indicated. The award certificates will not be reprinted due to an incorrect or illegible school name. There's a more info box that pops up that lets you know the importance of providing the correct school name, and there's also a bold statement right at the top line where the school name is entered that points this out as well. Schools and reviewers also need to make sure that the contact person indicated is a person who will be able to answer any follow-up questions about the application if necessary. There's a more information box that pops up explaining this on the application as well. I would also like to add that there's a field to capture the state agency reviewer's email, which is the regional office's first point of contact if there are issues that need to be clarified with the application. And last but not least, I would like to bring your attention to the reminder to save your work. We want to make sure that the information that you supply us with is not lost, so please remember to save your work after completing each page. On page 5 of the application is the general criteria worksheet. It includes a checkoff list that requires applicants to indicate yes or no responses for the general criteria, such as indicating whether the school is a team nutrition school and whether the most recent corrective actions from the school's state review have been completed, indicating whether the SFA has been certified to receive the additional 6-cent reimbursement. I would like to point out that we do not actually require anything from the school to verify the 6-cent certification besides the school checking off this box. We're relying on the state agency to verify that the School Food Authority actually has been certified. In a review of applications, some have submitted an email or paperwork that states the SFA is certified, which is nice, but it's not required. All you have to do is check the box if that's the case. This sheet features a section right in the middle that directs applicants to check off whether the school is implementing the Smarter Lunchroom techniques in the 6 areas as defined on the Smarter Lunchroom scorecard. And just like the note on the side of the slide states, we are using the 2014 Smarter Lunchroom Self-Assessment Scorecard for this application, not the newer one that has 60 items. The one that we're using has the 100 items. So applicants should complete the scorecard, they print it out, and then they submit or upload it with their application, as well as a brief summary, meaning 2 to 3 paragraphs that documents their efforts and 2 to 3 photos. If photos include pictures of students, a photo release should also be included for those students that are featured in those pictures. The worksheet also provides a space for applicants to indicate their ADP, their average daily participation rate. It's important to note that no matter what level you apply for, the ADPs for breakfast and lunch need to be met for the level the school is applying for. And there's a more info box there on the application as well to provide more information about how to get that number and how to do that calculation. This page also includes, like I said, that more info box for both sets, for lunch and for breakfast. On page 16 and 17 of the HealthierUS School Challenge application is the review committee verification form. Actual signatures are not required. The review committee members should provide their contact information in place of an actual signature. Page 16 is for individual schools, and page 17 is for districts. The question is sometimes asked, why do we require the information for all of these people? When names and information is provided for these persons, it helps to ensure that everyone that plays a major role in providing and sustaining a healthy school nutrition environment is at the table and is in tune to what is happening at the school level. And next we have page 18 of the application. It's the application checkoff sheet. The purpose of this sheet is to assist with making sure complete applications are submitted. It is very important that applicants complete this page as a part of their application package. At the top of the page, it has spaces where the applicant can check off beside each page, but right where you see the first blue arrow, this serves as a reminder of additional information that should be submitted with the application. So it mentions things like submitting a copy of the local wellness policy, as well as the Smarter Lunchroom scorecard with the summary and the photos, and the Smart Snacks calculator results and labels. Then where you see the second blue arrow, this is information that we are collecting that will assist us in making sure that your school receives the monetary incentives in a timely manner. This asks for the school district financial manager's name, email, and phone number. This person will be sent the information request that relates to the monetary incentive. I can't stress how important it is that you complete this information. There's also a More Info tab that provides guidance to applicants regarding the request for the school district financial manager's information, just to provide more details about that and what information we need and how it's going to be used. So just a couple more tips about submitting a successful application. If your school or schools in your district has been recognized by the Alliance for Healthier Generations Healthy Schools program, you may be able to receive dual recognition through a streamlined application process. To find out more information about this process, you can visit the website address that is on your screen. It's www.fns.usda.gov/HUSSC/streamlined-application. Action for Healthy Kids is also a great resource for schools that are working on the HealthierUS School Challenge application. They have developed lots of resources and have dedicated staff and trainings to assist schools with completing applications for submission. So more information can be found on the Action for Healthy Kids website. And last but not least, there are lots of resources and more information about the phase-out available on the Team Nutrition HUSSC website, and the web address is displayed on the slide for your convenience. All right, so now we're going to jump into talking about the award incentives that are related to HealthierUS School Challenge recognized schools. So each recognized school receives a certificate signed by the Secretary of Agriculture, and it comes in a nice plaque. schools receive recognition on the Team Nutrition website. Schools will receive a monetary incentive that correlates with their award level. A bronze school receives $500. Silver schools receive $1,000. Gold school receives $1,500. And Gold Award of Distinction schools receive $2,000. And they also receive a display banner that they can put up at their school. We would like everyone to hold on for a brief minute. We're going to do some technical assistance right now to make sure that our sound is coming through okay. Okay, I am back now. We just want to try to get rid of the echo that some of you were hearing, so hopefully that has helped. All right, so I just want to share this little accomplishment that we've had here at the national office. Over $320,000 in HUSSC payments were submitted for processing to financial management during the first quarter of fiscal year 2018. And I'm letting you know this because we want to assure everyone that's listening that we're working harder than ever to make sure that forms are being processed to make sure that those funds will be received as soon as possible for those schools that are awarded. So how do you receive your monetary incentive in a timely manner? Well, I'm so glad that everyone is asking this question because I have lots of answers for you. After the monthly award announcement is made by USDA FNS National Office, the amount of monies due to each school district is compiled. Please keep in mind that whether or not a school applies individually or as a part of a district application, the monetary incentive is deposited into the school nutrition account for the district. So those monies are compiled per the district name and not by the individual school. After the monies are tallied, an email is tailored to the school district financial manager that was indicated on page 18 of each school's application and is sent along with the blank monetary incentive form, which is a PDF file which they are able to fill in. Now, once you're notified of a positive award status, you get an email saying, or you see the email with your school listed under your school district, we ask that the food service director work closely with financial management staff at the district level because information given to us has to be accurate and consistent with the information that is already in the system for award management, otherwise known as SAM. But now with the form being driven to the district financial manager, it should minimize errors, but we still want everyone to be involved in the process so everyone's on the same page. SAM, the System for Award Management, is owned by the General Services Administration, which is also known as GSA. It's not owned by USDA. So the information contained there is used by all federal government entities that are giving grant money to different organizations. Each organization must be registered and should be registered in the SAM, and their records must be active and current. The web address for SAM is www.sam.gov. It's free to register. We've had instances where people have been trying to register for SAM through these other entities, but they are commercial entities. They will try to, charge you a fee. Do not register with them. Register www.sam.gov. It's free to register, so just be aware of that. They also have a help desk number, which is 866-606-8220. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're calling SAM to inquire about your record or to make changes or to get assistance, try calling early in the morning. That's when you'll probably get through the quickest. And it's important to keep in mind that they do service the entire federal government. But I found them to be very helpful when I'm trying to assist schools. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to give you a purview of sam.gov in case you haven't seen it before. These are the front pages of SAM. Once you're on this page, you can select Search Records, which is in the right side of the screen. It has like the little magnifying glass, and it will bring you to the second page where you have the option to add in the DUNS number, which is the second little field blank on the left-hand side of that second screenshot. There you can add the DUNS number, and then you select search, and this can be utilized by a school district when checking their SAM status. So you don't even have to have an account with SAM to check your SAM status for your school. Once you select the search button, and if your organization is in the SAM.gov system, it will bring up a record for the organization, and it will say whether it is active or not active. Now that we're all familiar with SAM.gov, let's now review some steps you can take to make sure the monetary incentive for your school is not delayed. The first step is making sure that your record in SAM is correct and current. The information in SAM stays current for 1 year after it is submitted. The second step is to complete the request for the banking information that is sent from the USDA FNS staff member. And again, this request for banking information is going to be sent to the district financial manager that was indicated on the school's application on page 18 of that HUSSC application. So now we're going to take a look at the monetary incentive form so you can see what it looks like in case you haven't seen it. I'm just going to discuss what happens to your form once you return it to us and what we look for. When we receive your form and the information, we first check the form against what's in SAM and USDA's FMI, which is the Financial Management Modernization Initiative. The information in FMI is populated by the information in SAM automatically, so that's a system that you do not have to access. It pulls the information directly from SAM, whatever you have in there. So once information is in SAM, and we're talking about the district financial manager, must receive communication that the information is active or activated. Once that happens, the banking information request should be sent to FNS staff. I know that many people on here might not be the district financial manager, so it's our hope that you'll pass this information on to the district financial managers. So first, FNS checks for the following. First, we make sure that the DUNS number and the EIN number, the employee identification number, is actually included on the form. We get many forms, and they don't have the DUNS number, they don't have the EIN number. We can't go anywhere with that. We have to go right back out. We send it right back and say, could you please provide the DUNS number and the EIN number so we can access your records. So if either of those numbers are not there, like I said, we reach back out to the contact person to get those numbers completed. Then we look for the award amount and the HUSSC number. If the HUSSC number and award amount is not included, we add it in. That's something that we have on our side as well if you're not able to, copy it from the email that we send you or it gets lost. Then we look for the name of the school district. We make sure that the street address is there, city, state, the zip code, the name of the bank, the banking address, routing number, and the account number. Because you're being paid through SAM, this banking account number must be the one that is associated with the SAM.gov record. And again, that's something that the district financial manager or accounting office should be able to check to make sure that that account number and the DUNS number, all of that, everything should all be tied together. But that's the person who should be able to get that information correctly aligned for you. I must make mention that when we go into SAM, FNS, myself and the staff members here, we cannot see the banking information in SAM. We can only see the name and the address and the DUNS number. So we make sure that that lines up. So if something is missing or something is wrong, like one of the numbers might be off, it's not visible to us on our end. So it's very important that you make sure that the information is correct, because we want to make sure that when that money is processed, that it's going into your account so that you can use those funds. After we see that the information on the form matches everything in FMI, we're able to say that the form has been verified in the SAM.gov system and in the FMI system. And then once we verify that information, we assign the form an internal number. Then we annotate it with the number and the dollar amount, and then we submit the request to our funds officer for payment. Again, if anything is wrong on the form, the DUNS number, EIN, the school district, the address, bank name, bank account number, any of that, we can't move your form forward, and we'll have to reach back out and contact the contact person. So we've had situations, like I said, where it might be just one number that's wrong. We can't guess and say, well, that's just an extra number, we'll take it off, everything will match up. We have to get your confirmation on it. So all of those things, if they don't line up, then that delays the process. So now we're going to talk about funds just a little bit more. We do have a process in place here. After we receive your form and it's been verified, we will send you an email with an ID number alerting you that it has been sent forward to the funds officer for payment. You should expect a payment once you get that email within 1 to 2 months after receiving that email. If for any reason you don't get a payment, please feel free to contact us with questions, and we ask that you use the identification number, your HUSSC number, assigned to you within the subject line so we can locate all your records and respond back in a timely manner. If you don't include that number and we're having to search by district name or contact name, all of it takes time. So if you're able to include that identification number, it helps us greatly. On our end, again, we cannot send the incentive directly to schools because we have to use a tax ID number or an EIN number, so it has to be sent to the district. The district should then do an internal transfer once they receive those funds from the general account to the school's nonprofit food service account. And for the use of funds, the HUSSC award monies are subject to the same allowable cost requirements as funds in the nonprofit school food service account. And we have that information here on the slide, but if you need more information about how those funds can be used, please feel free to send us an email. So this next slide just shows you the process of what it takes to receive your monetary incentive. It seems so simple, but there are lots of issues that can come up, and I went over some of those and some of the things that you can do to kind of prevent those things. These issues come up for about 40% of the forms that are submitted to us. So at the beginning, the application is submitted and reviewed, the award is announced, incentives go out, the monetary incentive request form is sent to the district financial manager. And just a note, we do ask that if you're at all able to type in your answers versus writing them by hand, that helps greatly as well and helps to make sure that we receive accurate information. If all is good on that form, the SAM info and the FEMI info matches up, then we're able to award the money. If it doesn't match up, then we have to, do some research and dig into the issue to find out, where things went wrong and have to reach back and get numbers straightened out. And again, once it's all straightened out and SAM and FEMI match up, then we're able to process for your payment. And just to go over one more time about the issues that are faced so we can try to prevent these, we really have no way of knowing once we turn our paperwork over to the funds officer whether there is an issue with the payment unless the funds officer tells us we have bad information or the school district contacts us to let us know that they weren't paid. So again, the number one reason for why monetary incentives are not being processed timely is because the SAM record is expired. Again, the SAM record is only current and active for a year. After that year, it expires, and the information must be checked and activated in order for everything to work. Another issue that we have is that the information provided is not accurate. An address is off, a number is off. Sometimes bank information changes. And last but not least, sometimes there are federal offsets or garnishment. Sometimes the school district might have a federal debt that they're not aware of or that they haven't paid back, and so the U.S. Treasury will take the money out of whatever next federal payment comes through, and if it happens to be the HUSSC money, that might happen. We haven't seen it happen often, but it has happened in previous years. And then at the bottom of the slide, it has the CFDA number, which is 10.543. This is in case anyone needs it for accounting or auditing purposes. This is the number that you would use. So please email us for inquiries or status updates. Once we receive questions for information, we do assign you a number. When we get back to you, we put that number in the subject line. So again, if you're able to, use that number when referring, when you send us questions about anything so we can easily locate your records and have all of our communications right in front of us. We would also like to note that when you send us an email with people copied on that email, we will respond to all. So sometimes those emails will include banking information. So it's important that those people you've copied on the email are those persons that also have regular access to that information, because we would not want the information to be going to inappropriate people. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Sheldon Gordon to wrap things up.
Thank you, Ebony. I thought this was a great presentation. And so if you have any questions, you will see down on the left-hand side of your screen. Please feel free to type in your questions. We have received a few so far, one of them being on the 2016 scorecard and whether that is allowable to be used with the HESIC application. And at this time, we are still using the 2014 as a criteria that has been set pretty much across the board. And so that we can keep the consistency of the application, we are asking that everybody use the 2014 scorecard at this time. Another question we received was in regards to the slides. This presentation will be available on our website within a few weeks, so you will be able to come back to our website and review the webinar, and we will have the slides there as well. All right, I got a question. Is it possible for school clerks or state agency staff to call and talk to HESIC Award staff? And yes, we do have our email address, which should be on our screen. I think it's on the next one. You can definitely send your email request to us there. And let's see. We do have you can call the Team Nutrition 1-800 number, which I would have to, we'll make sure when this is posted we'll have that number available so that you can use to call us as well if there's further questions that you need to directly talk with somebody. Okay, we got another question. If schools apply as a district, are awards given per school building? So when you fill out the application and you list all the names, there's going to be a certificate and a banner for each of those schools that are actually in that application. So they do not share bronze going from different schools. So if you have 10 schools, you will be getting 10 certificates, 10 banners, and each school gets their own monetary, and well, the account will get a monetary incentive for each of the schools that are listed there that are approved.
Hi, we have a question from Beth Thorson. If a school district submits an online application and goes directly to the national office, do we still instruct the district to print out their application and mail or email it to the state agency for review first? Yes, we will like to instruct them to mail that application or email it to the state agency for review first, because if it does come directly to the national office, we just turn around and we send it back to the state agency because it has to go through that process first. I have a question from Richard Parks. We have some schools using it's a comment. We have some schools using the 100-question 2016 scorecard, and we hope this is acceptable as this is identical to the 2014 card with the exception of the scale for scoring is updated. I will have to look at it and see, but as Sheldon Gordon mentioned previously, we are currently only accepting the 2014 scorecard. We've had some schools that have submitted the 2016 scorecard, and we kindly ask them to complete the 2014 scorecard for the purposes of the HealthierUS School Challenge application. I am going to scroll and see if there are any other questions that came in earlier that we may have missed. And I see there are also some comments on here about there's been some echoing. So once we get the recording back and listen to it, if anything did not come through, we are fine with recording it over to make sure that what is posted online is clear and complete, to make sure that you're able to hear everything that we talked about. Okay, I don't see any other questions. If there are any other questions, please feel free to send them. Oh, here's another question. Can we get a scorecard sent via email? Yes, you can. Please send an email to tn-hussc@fns.usda.gov, and I will send you the scorecard, the 2014 scorecard, so that you can complete it. That is no problem. If anyone else has that request, please do the same, and we'll send it to you via email. Yes, the scorecard is on the HealthierUS School Challenge website as well. Thank you, Marlene. There's a link there. All right, we'll wait a couple more seconds. Are there any other questions? Okay, well, we really appreciate all of your time this afternoon, and sorry about the trouble you were having at the beginning with hearing everything properly. But again, once we listen to the recording, if anything is not coming through clearly, we will make sure that we get a recording that's clear and complete to make sure that that version is posted online when this is available. And we also have the option of sending out an email to let you all know when it's posted. So just stay tuned, and please feel free to email us with any questions, and we really appreciate all of your support. All right, thank you. Have a great afternoon. Bye.